in Christian Church of God, RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, has frowned at the continuous depreciation of naira, saying that the situation has become worse to the extent that the country currency no longer worth the paper it's printed on. Speaking during the Redeemed Christian Church of God 2022 Holy Ghost service.
You know what's going on in our country? Doesn't even make sense anymore. Our naira now is it's not even worth the paper it is printed on. And while people are hungry, trying to find enough money to buy bread to eat, our bosses are thinking of making the naira more beautiful.
Thank you so much. I'm here about this regret. In this video, I'm looking at when our highly respected man of God, Papa Adeboye, speaks. Whose interest will that serve? Let's start with when Goodluck Jonathan was a sitting president. Papa Adeboye spoke strongly concerning the insecurity in Nigeria. He charged the sitting president to do something to find solution. He said so many things, which the social media have been reporting. He was out there strongly condemning those who endorsed Jonathan for re-election. It was also reported by the social media. Tinubu's man, Buhari, came to power with a redeemed pastor, Osibanjo, as vice president. The going was good. Papa Adeboye did not say anything against that government until few months to the end of that administration. By 2022, with the redesign of the naira on the table, and Tinubu complaining that their size is to frustrate his victory in the coming February 25th presidential election, the man of God regained his voice and told the nation that naira is not even worth the paper on which it is printed on. He complained about the hardship, the hunger, the suffering of the Nigerian people. He cannot understand why the focus of the government will only be to beautify the naira, as he puts it, to beautify the naira. That according to him, naira is not even what the paper is printed on. It will be recalled, naira was exchanging at about 700 naira to a dollar. 700 naira to a dollar. That was when Papa Adeboye said, naira is not even worth the paper on which it is printed on. Lo and behold, INEC had their way, and through compromise of the process by man-made glitches and by not uploading authentic results, uploading blank paper and pictures, Tinubu emerged as the winner of the election by INEC, and he was sworn in. That was when the problem of Nigeria took a different turn. Consequently, hardship hit the heavens, prices hit the heavens, things got out of hand, naira depreciated beyond measure. It rose up to 1,800 naira to a dollar, came down to 1,600 to a dollar. But it was shocking to discover that at this point, when naira have depreciated far above 1,000 naira to a dollar, the man of God, through native intelligence, started to tell us story of how they had a program and they were in need of 5,000. Then he brought the main thing he wanted to say. That at that time, 5,000 naira was, that was when naira was naira. Naira carried a higher value than the dollar. He then told the people under him, the glorious days of the naira will soon return. The naira that is worthless as when it was 700 naira to a dollar. The naira that is not even worth the paper on which it is printed. But now with Tinubu as president, the glorious day of the naira will soon return.
Trusted God and told everybody, come, God will feed you. And then all of a sudden, all money dried up. And nobody knew that there was no money left in my pocket. And then my wife came in the morning and said, darling, we will need 5,000 naira today. 5,000 naira of those days, so when the naira was stronger than the dollar. Don't worry, those days will return. Oh, I know you don't believe me. If the Lord I serve is still on his throne, those glorious days will return.
The God of miracle will make it happen. He had already said Tinubu and the governors are doing very well. Even with the hardship, even with the spiral inflation, even with the unemployment, within short time,
Problems our nation is facing is more than political. But our problem would require quite a bit of spiritual.
2 months after Tinubu took over power, because of his policy, multinationals left the country in large number. Close to 800 manufacturing companies closed down because of good-for-nothing economic policy of Tinubu's administration. But that is the same government. The man of God is telling us he is doing very well. The governors are doing very well. The problem of Nigeria is not political, but requires a little bit of spiritual solution. The problem did not require spiritual solution under Jonathan. The problem did not require spiritual solution under Buhari until Tinubu came to power. That is when the problem requires a little bit of spiritual solution, which the God of miracle, which Daddy Adeboye represents, that the GO, the God of miracle, had not been able to fix. Or maybe that the GO have not prayed for the God of miracle to fix this little problem with just little spiritual solution. But unemployment had hit the rooftop. Hunger, hardship. Thousands of people are dying because of insecurity. To move about in Nigeria is becoming a problem. Yet, a demand under whose watch all these atrocities are being committed, corruption, hit the rooftop. The man of God said he is doing very well. When naira was at 187 to a dollar, 187 naira to a dollar, Jonathan was not doing very well. When Tinubu when Buhari took it to 700 naira, 750 to $1, it became worthless. And it was not even worth the paper on which it is printed on. But when it got to 1,500 to $1, that was when the glorious days of the naira will soon return. Whose interest? All for Tinubu. When he spoke against Jonathan, it was for the sake of Tinubu's candidate to win. When he complained that the naira was worthless, he was speaking for the interest of Tinubu. When he said Tinubu is doing very well, it's just to divert the attention of the Nigerian people from the failure of the administration. You can see from the examples put forward, one man benefits from what the revered man of God comes up with at each point in time when he takes a position publicly on any national issue. When the campaign was hitting ground in Lagos before the presidential election, vote your faith, vote your faith. That was when we came up with the slogan, vote your country. Because he told the people who came to listen that nobody was born a Christian. You were first born a Nigerian before you became a Christian. You owe your duty to your country. Because that is to say, you do not owe your duty to your faith. Because that was to counter those campaigning, vote your faith. So, he had this way. Many people listened to him, and they followed. See where we are now. Tinubu is in power. Things are falling apart. Thousands are suffering. The Catholic bishop told the whole world, Tinubu's economic policy turned millions of Nigeria daily to beggars, daily to poverty, push them into poverty. That is the situation we find ourselves. So the man of God speaks primarily to serve the interest of one politician that have been holding Lagos captive for over 24 years. In fact, he is the same governor of Lagos for the past 24 years. Whosoever is in Alausa as governor of Lagos is just his employee representing him. That is the true picture of things. The truth and nothing but the truth. But when this man of God speaks, he speaks primarily for the interest of this particular politician whose activities is manifestly seen to be tormenting the Nigerian people. It is my turn to be president. It is the turn of the Yorubas to be president. That was after Obasanjo for 8 years as president, and Osinbajo for 8 years as vice president. That was when he said it is his turn. You can see where we are now. All we need to say, let God save us. Because the activities of this man of God seems to be discouraging so many Nigerians. Many people come to church just reluctantly because they are no longer encouraged by what the men of God do. Their relationship with some politicians, they know to be creating problems for the people. Many are discouraged. The gospel is even spoken of. The church is divided by the activities of certain highly blessed men of God. And it's as if this is the time we have to take the gospel to the church. The gospel of what will it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul. I think this gospel now should be preached in the church. And if it's possible for us to gather all men of God together, they need to hear this gospel once again. It's no longer something we should preach to the people of the world. We should now preach it to, especially starting with the church leadership. What will it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul? May God build his church. May God help us to obey Jesus Christ and seek the kingdom and the righteousness, not working with corrupt politicians that will not enthrone righteousness, that knows nothing about rule of law, not working with politicians that do not care about man and God. May God help us. May God build his church. This is our prayer. May it please you to share this video. May it please you to subscribe to this channel. Be part of what God is doing. God lives in truth. That's why this channel is so important to suffering humanity and for the restoration, for revival in the church.
Problems our nation is facing is more than political. But our problem would require quite a bit of spiritual